Thor: Love and Thunder was directed by Taika Waititi and it stars Chris Hemsworth as Thor. And this movie takes place after the events of Avengers Endgame. So in this movie, we have Thor who reunites with his old ex-girlfriend Jane Foster, who's actually now known as the Mighty Thor, and Thor himself puts together a team. Himself, Jane Foster, Valkyrie, and Korg, they both have to work together to go against Gore the God Butcher, who wants to have all the gods go extinct. And now we got our movie. And I freaking love this movie. I heard some mixed reviews about this movie. Some people liked it, some people didn't like it. And I said, okay, let me go see the movie for myself. I did see the movie. I walked out of there and said, this movie is absolutely awesome. I love this movie. And Thor: Love and Thunder is like easily one of the best Marvel movies in the MCU. I mean, I wouldn't say it's the best. Like I said, I heard some mixed reviews about the movie, and I'm like, okay, let me go see the movie for myself. I walked out of there and loved it to death. This movie is absolutely awesome. So I think there'll be some things I like and some things that I don't know if I will like, but I mean, I don't know, but I mean, like I said, there'll be some things I like and some things I don't know if I will like, but let's get started. But ever since the trailers, the Marvel Legends figures themselves, and the TV spots got a lot of people excited. It got me really excited for the movie. So I guess that's it. But let's talk about the actors and the characters. Let's start with Chris Hemsworth as Thor himself. And I gotta say, Chris Hemsworth as Thor is so great in this movie because Thor, what's he been up to ever since after Endgame? He's been hanging out with the Guardians of the Galaxy for a little while. And, he's been hanging out with the Guardians of the Galaxy for a little while, and then afterward just moved on with his day. And now when he heard about this Gore the God Butcher guy, he wants to put together a team, which is himself, Jane, Valkyrie, and Korg to go against Gore the God Butcher. And Chris Hemsworth is great as Thor in the MCU since the first movie. And the thing is, I thought Chris Hemsworth was done playing Thor. But from what I heard some people say that, yeah, he's done playing Thor. He's not playing Thor no more. But then, I guess we were wrong. We're getting a Thor. We might end up getting a Thor 5 in the near future. I heard Chris Hemsworth wants to continue playing Thor until Marvel Studios tells him to stop. So, I mean, I don't blame him. I don't blame the guy. I get it. I mean, but Chris Hemsworth is really good as Thor, and I can't wait to see more of him in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So I guess the fans probably wanted more of Thor. So, I understand. And next up is Natalie Portman as Jane Foster, aka the Mighty Thor. She's like, now I gotta say, Jane Foster, what's she been up to after all these years? Yeah, because we did see her absence. I mean, she was absent from Thor Ragnarok, but she was actually mentioned, she was mentioned in the movie for once, and then, we don't know what she's been up to after all these years, since Thor the Dark World, because the last time we seen her was Thor the Dark World. It's been a long time. Now, Jane Foster is like the next Thor, where she's like the next person to wield the Mjolnir. The Mjolnir, which is Thor's hammer. Well, old hammer, actually. And I gotta say, Natalie Portman is really good in this movie, and she was really good as Jane Foster, probably since Thor 1 and Thor 2, but she's been absent all these years. I don't know how many years since the last time we've seen her, but it's nice to see Natalie Portman once again as Jane Foster, and she is great in this movie. And next up is Tessa Thompson as King Valkyrie. Now I gotta say, King Valkyrie is like the next king of Asgard. Now, yeah, New Asgard, my bad. So New Asgard, like old I think, because the Asgard that we saw in Thor 1 and Thor 2 and Thor Ragnarok, I think it took place on another planet, I can't remember, or it took place in outer space. I can't remember. I haven't watched the Thor movies in a while. But now we have, we had New Asgard that takes place on Earth. Because even though our first time experiencing New Asgard was Avengers Endgame, and now King Valkyrie is the king of New Asgard. And Tessa Thompson is really good as Valkyrie because our first time we was introduced to her was Thor Ragnarok, and then we saw her again in Avengers Endgame. Then we saw her again right now. But excuse me. Now I gotta say Tessa Thompson is really good in the MCU as Valkyrie, and I hope we do see more of her in the Marvel Cinematic Universe in future projects. But I think that's it for Tessa Thompson as Valkyrie. And next up is Taika Waititi. He's not just the director, but he also voices Korg. And I gotta say, Korg is really good. And I mean, Korg is like my favorite Marvel MCU character. Because, I mean, he kind of reminds me a little bit like the Thing from the Fantastic Four, but with gray rocks. You know, the guy's made out of rocks. The Thing from the Fantastic Four is made out of rocks. But I guess I can imagine him and the Thing actually have a little bit of a team up in the MCU, which would have been awesome. But I gotta say that the thing is about Korg. He's telling stories now. He's telling stories about Thor. He's telling stories about Thor. And then he's helping Thor and his crew trying to go against Gore the God Butcher. And Taika Waititi is really good as Korg. And Korg is like I said, he's my favorite MCU character. And Taika Waititi, he's not just the director of this movie, but he also played Korg since our first time meeting Korg was Thor Ragnarok, and now we get to see Korg once again in the MCU. I'm talking about in Thor, Love and Thunder, and Avengers Endgame, and that's it. But I guess that's it for Taika Waititi as not just the director, but as Korg. And next up is Russell Crowe as Zeus. Talk about great casting. I mean, I heard of Zeus. I think I heard this Zeus Marvel character a little bit. I mean, I don't know much about him. The only thing I know is in the movie that he holds on to this lightning bolt that has have this electric energy powers, and Russell Crowe is really good in this movie. I mean, we only see him for probably at least one scene and gone, and that's it. And Russell Crowe is really good as Zeus. Like, he is really good. He was like a great casting choice for Zeus. And like I said, Russell Crowe is really good in this movie. And last but not least is the main villain of this movie is Gore the God Butcher. He's played by Christian Bale. Now, Christian Bale is more than just playing Batman in his own Batman movies. No, he's playing a different character. And the thing is, when I heard about heard Christian Bale was playing this character, I was actually really excited. And then, man, I gotta tell you, when I heard some people actually seeing some earlier screenings for this movie and said that Gore the God Butcher is like the best villain in the movie, and he is like the best, like my favorite villain in the movie. And Christian Bale, he's, like I said, he's more than just playing Batman. He's playing a different character. I mean, we did see Christian Bale in DC since Batman Begins, and now we get to see him in the MCU as Gore the God Butcher. And Gore the God Butcher is like the best Marvel villain in this movie, and I love this villain. How dark he is, of how he got this very terrifying horrifying sword that he holds on to, and he uses it to attack and kill gods. And I gotta say, Christian Bale is really good in this movie as Gore the God Butcher. And like I said, Gore the God Butcher is like my favorite villain in this movie. And he's like a cool villain, a dark villain. He feels horrifying, terrifying, and you might end up seeing his you might end up seeing a little bit more backstory, and you might see more of his backstory in the movie, but hopefully you'll see the movie for yourself. But I gotta say, he's really good in this movie, and that's it for Christian Bale as Gore the God Butcher. And that's it for the actors and the characters. Now, I gotta say, everything else, that is it. But I gotta say right off the gate, this movie is absolutely amazing. There were some things I really enjoy about this movie. Taika Waititi took everything from Thor Ragnarok a little bit and put it inside this movie. Now, this movie actually went from lightness to darkness, a little bit more lightness to darkness, back and forth. Everything in this movie, the cinematography is great. Like, you do see some really cool color palettes, some really good cinematography with the color palettes scenes in the movie, which felt more light lighter, and and there's some times where the movie does gets more darker because of Gore the God Butcher just shows up. With all these these weird shadow like creatures and just something like that. But and also the action sequences in this movie is great. I love the final battle in this movie. The final battle is really good. I like the final battle in this movie mostly because the final battle in this movie is awesome. Yeah, the final battle in this movie is really excellent. The action sequences are great. You can pretty much tell exactly what's going on. Yeah, you can pretty much tell exactly what's going on. Now, I don't know why people didn't. The thing is, what else about this movie is, yeah, there's some times where the plot also almost got me really confused, but I actually figured it out though. But there were some really cool scenes in the movie where it kind of just drops out of the comic book, which is awesome, and like I said, some of the stuff in the movie, most of the stuff in this movie is excellent. Thor is trying to put together a team to go against this guy. Gore the God Butcher is like an evil, dark villain, and Thor and Valkyrie and Korg and Jane Foster wants to go against this guy because this guy is evil. But I think that's. If you do have the whole, I hope some of you guys do have the whole wave from Marvel Legends, Thor: Love and Thunder. I do have the whole wave putting Korg together, but I won't put Korg together right now. I might have to do it like one of these days, whenever I get a chance. Since now I completed my entire wave from Marvel Legends, Thor: Love and Thunder, now I get to put Korg together, but I'm not going to put them together. I am going to put them together, but I might put them together one of these days. But, like I said, this movie is absolutely, I had a good time watching this movie. I don't know what's the point of people not liking this movie. I do respect people's opinion, but I don't know what happened. I wanted this movie to be 2 hours long, but the problem is the movie's like 1 hour, 59 minutes long. Kind of short, which kind of gets me really, which kind of really makes, I wouldn't say makes me mad. It's just that I was a little confused there. I'm like, wait, what? Like Space Jam, ever since Space Jam: A New Legacy came out, the movie was supposed to be 2 hours long, and they changed it to 1 hour 50 something minutes. Same thing goes to this movie. I'm like, whoa, this is just wrong. Marvel, I wanted this movie to be 2 hours long. I didn't want this movie to be a 1 hour short movie. Imagine this movie was 1 hour 40 minutes. The fans would have been upset about it. I wanted to see more. My biggest issue with the movie that I wanted to see more. I wanted to see more of the story arc of not just Thor himself, but also everybody in the movie's story arc. I wanted to see more of the story arcs. I wanted to see more of Gore the God Butcher's storyline. I wanted to see more of Jane Foster's storyline, but we didn't get a chance. We did see a little bit of that. Excuse me. But we did see more of that, but not much. But I wanted to see more. That's all I know for the movie, but I guess that's it for this movie review for Thor: Love and Thunder. So go see this movie. If you haven't seen the movie, go see it. But I guess that's it for this movie review for Thor: Love and Thunder, and I think that's about it. So be sure to like, subscribe, post notification, follow me on Instagram, comment down below, and I'll see you on my next video, and thank you for watching.